This is the FFR Trading Market Minute, and we're going to start with the daily chart of the VIX. And I pointed out a couple of weeks ago that there was this trend line that had formed in the VIX. So as the VIX had come down to this trend line, it found support, and we got a nice reaction to the upside. Now the VIX is inversely correlated with the stock market, so specifically the S&P 500, which we track week to week here. So on Friday, the VIX came into that trendline support, like to the tick. And then it started moving higher off of that. Then we got a big explosive move in the VIX, right? And this was on Tuesday, March 5th. That's when we saw the big sell-off in stocks. So let's take a look at the stock market, and we're back to the SPY here. And you can see this was Tuesday. This was the big drop as the VIX was rallying. The market was dropping here, but the bulls pushed back. And I mentioned on the weekly charts, if I go to the weekly chart here, I would be watching the low from the prior week. So this week's low, and you can see this week we came down here and nearly broke the low from the prior week, but we did not break the low from the prior week. Instead, the bulls took over. And I was looking at that prior week's low. If we broke that we would start to correct. Didn't happen, and we rallied, and today you can see we are making new all-time highs in stock. So our S&P, here's where we are currently. It's Thursday. We do have a gap now below the market, and we've got another bigger gap below here. As we make this new high, you can see in our oscillator we had a high point here, but the new high today, right, so far the oscillator is not following. In other words, the oscillator is not making a new high. So we'll see how we close today, and we'll see what that looks like. But that could be a warning sign that a top is near before we start pulling back. Again, we'll have this gap below the market here that we can look to fill on a pullback, and any more severe pullback would potentially fill this gap all the way back down here before we find some more demand here. Some of the big economic data set for next week. Tuesday, we'll have the Consumer Price Index. That'll be followed Thursday by the Producer Price Index and retail sales, and Friday's Michigan Consumer Sentiment. Hope that helps. Have a great rest of your trading week. We'll see you back next week in the FFR Trading Market Minute.